YouTubers, and welcome to another Doctor Who action figure review. In today's review, I'm looking at the second of the 3 Toys R Us Dalek sets in the 3 3/4 inch line, which is the Dalek Invasion of Earth set, which is kind of based on the 60s serial, but it isn't, because it's using new series Daleks in classic series colours, and the colours for the Supreme Dalek aren't technically based on the Dalek Invasion of Earth Supreme anyway, so it's all very strange. But let's begin by taking a look at the packaging. The figures come packaged on a blister card featuring the classic Doctor Who logo and a comic book inspired design. The back of the box features a new bio for the Daleks and also features a bit of information as to where the design for these Daleks came from. Here we have our 2 Daleks, new series Daleks used since the Russell T Davies era in classic series colours. Now the silver and blue design is something that fans have been clamouring for a very long time. Now neither of these colour schemes have appeared in the TV series, and again I think it's based on the sort of comic book artwork that we've been seeing a lot of lately. Let's begin by just doing a run through of the articulation. We'll get rid of the Dalek Supreme and just use the drone for now. So we have 360-degree articulation at the head. The eye stalk pivots up and down, and you can get a really good angle of the Dalek looking down. The gun and plunger are ball jointed, and the Dalek is on 3 wheels, one that moves all the way around at the bottom and 2 that move back and forth. Now let's take a look at the details. Well, first off, it's in this really nice silver colour, harking back to the original 60s Daleks. And I love this colour scheme. It's my favourite colour scheme of all the Daleks. And I would absolutely love it if the new series took on this colour scheme as well. As much as I like the bronze and gold design, I think a new paint job would really give the Daleks a bit of a refresh, and I think this is the way to go. And I really like the sculpt. I really like this model of Dalek. I think they did a really good job of making the Daleks feel more tank-like, more menacing than what they had previously done in the classic series, especially towards the 80s when all of the props were basically falling to pieces and they just looked wobbly and a bit crap. So at the top here we have these orange dome lights, something that we would see in and out in the classic series, Daleks with orange dome lights. Death of the Daleks springs to mind, and also the 5 Doctors. It really works well with the silver because the orange sets off very nicely against the silver. The sculpt itself for the dome, very well done. You've got the sort of cowl piece over the eye stalk, and you have all the little nuts and bolts around that, and all of the little details sculpted around there, and also around the back and around the top. The eye stalk itself has been sculpted in a clear plastic, which has then been painted silver and black. So this allows for the discs around the outside to be clear. Unfortunately, the paint job on the eye stalk's iris is pretty shoddy, so whoever painted this, you're not going to want to get them playing bullseye with you, because you can see that they really weren't very steady and it was very off-centre. Now, I did try and look to see if there are any better versions, but honestly, the only ones that they had in Toys R Us had eye stalks that looked like they'd been painted by a drunkard, so be mindful of that. You might want to touch that up again yourself. Moving down to the neck bin, again, very good sculpt. We have all the little details of the nuts and the bolts and all of the mesh section as well. Moving down to the shoulder section with the solar slats, and the trim, and also bits of the gun boxes have all been painted silver, and the rest of it has been painted grey. And again, we have all of these very fine details of the bolts, making it look like the Daleks have been constructed. The paint applications here are fairly good. You do get a bit of bleed and a bit of smearing here and there, but for the most part it's pretty good, and it's probably better than what we saw on the Children of the Revolution Daleks in my previous review. And in terms of the plunger and the gun stick, again, this is all very simple, but we do have some extra details of this little ridge and also some finer detailing on the back of the plunger. The skirt section is silver with blue hemispheres. Unfortunately, some of the paint hasn't been applied particularly well, or it's rubbed or scratched or whatever, as you can see on the very front ones at the base. And when we move down to the fender, again we have the bolt detail, but this time it's been produced in a black plastic. Moving on to the Supreme Dalek, it is exactly the same mould as the Dalek drone, it's just a repaint, and it's made up of gloss black, matte black, and also silver and grey paint. So the shoulder section is exactly the same as the previous Dalek, the same plunger, the same shoulder slats, everything is the same same grey and silver paint job. The only real difference is we have this glossy black head, kind of like with Dalek Set, and even all of the mesh on the inside of the neck bin, that's all been painted in a gloss black as well. The Dalek's iris also features the same crappy paint like the previous version, which is a real shame because it's such a nice Dalek. This time, it's not really central, and it doesn't really seem to have covered the whole eye. There's like a dot in the middle, I don't know. So if you're going to get it, you might want to be very careful trying to pick these out, or be prepared to repaint those elements. The skirt, that has been painted in a matte black, so it doesn't have the same gloss effect with the silver hemispheres. Here, the paint seems to have covered everything. There seems to be very few rubs, and there seems to be very little in the way of bleed. And also, the fender has a black, kind of metallic tint to it. So here are our classic new series Daleks alongside a proper new series Dalek, and I really like this. I really love the silver and blue. Like I said, they're my favourite design, and I do like the black and silver. It's very 80s looking. I really do like this. I think this is a really good set. Now, the only sad thing is, well, you can only get one of these in a pack. Now, with something like the Evil of the Dalek set in the same range, which I don't own, you get two of the same Dalek. And I kind of think that it would be nice if they did do something similar here for people who want to army build, and it's kind of like being back with Daypole again. It's like a Daypole mix and match of all different colour Daleks in one collection. So thanks for watching this review, guys, and I will hopefully be back with some more Doctor Who action figure reviews soon. Hopefully some more stuff from the 3 3/4 inch range, and who knows, we might get some 5-inch figures sometime this year. I really hope we do, because I know you're all begging to see more from the 5-inch range. I'm begging to see more from the 5-inch range, especially the classic figures, so we'll just have to wait and see. But thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time.